Hey, good afternoon, everybody. It's KB5MIQ Big Boy. Come on, Ham Radio Cat. Hope everybody's having a great day. Had a little bit of storms and rain come through the area yesterday. Uh, Nothing bad here where I live. Thought we'd just talk about a few random things today. Had a good comment today. On one of my videos, guy asked me about 10 meters and said he's running a G5 RV, wasn't hearing much and hearing some faint stuff. I told him right now, 10-meter band's been kind of dead. Hey, Ham Radio Cat. 10-meter band's been kind of dead. I know several months ago we had lots of people checking in with us at our nightly roundtable, and we hadn't had any check-ins here in a while. And he was asking about, I told him what our roundtable was and what he could expect on 10. And my advice to him was this. 10's kind of dead right now. Listen, see what you can hear. If you're just going to be in the shack and you want to monitor, just put on 28,400. That's a calling frequency for 10 meters. Now, bear in mind, I've never understood this. If you answer a CQ call on there, sooner or later, experts will jump on there and tell you not to get off the calling frequency. So, that'll help you decide if the band's open. The frequency we use most of the time, 28,450, is another real good frequency to monitor. I hear lots of stations on it. And if the band is really open, like it somehow manages to be on contest weekends, the majority of your single sideband phone contacts are going to be in the novice portion, 28.3 to 28.5. However, if you're a general class and above, and the band's booming, especially on contest weekend, go up about between 28.5, 28.5, 75. I've got a few countries by going up that high. Not much traffic there normally, but if the band's really open, it don't hurt to go up above 28.5 and listen a little bit. See if you can make contact. 10 meters, fun band. If the sunspot cycle keeps coming up, it'll get better. It'll just get better. Antenna suggestions. I used a G5 RV for a long time. Made a lot of contacts on 10 with a G5 RV. Band, got to be open. Dipoles are great. I've worked Japan on a 25-watt radio and a dipole up about 40 feet, a homemade dipole. The MFJ 2-element Moxon Yagi is a very inexpensive antenna that I actually thought was only rated for 300 watts, but according to the MFJ website, it's rated for a kilowatt. Of course, if you're a novice tech, you're still limited to 200 watts, their PEP. But it's a good antenna. I've made a lot of good contacts with it. In fact, when people check in with us, Cody and Jeff are both running dipoles, and everybody usually hears me over in the rest of them quicker. So get on 10 meters and enjoy it. I'm still seeing some posts about people arguing with new hams over what they do. All right. That is one of the great things about this hobby, is there's so many avenues you can enjoy it with. All right. And a lot of you younger guys are a lot better computer orientated than us old boomers like me and Jeff are. Cody, he's younger than us, and he's a lot better on the computer side of this thing than we are. If you like Ft8, do it. Don't listen to any of these old hams telling you Ft8's not real radio. It's a recognized practice, and it's allowed in the ham bands, and if you like it, use it. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I may not ever try it right now. I'm not set up for it. I kind of promote single sideband HF phone contacts. But I'm not going to knock anybody for running Ft8 or CW or whatever. There's slow scan TV. I think there still may be some radio teletype out there. Look at the avenues you've got and the operating modes that we have in this hobby, and find what you like and run with it. I'm not making these videos to kind of run text down. I hope nobody thinks that for just staying on VHF UHF. I urge you to try to get on HF if your budget allows, and if that's an interest you might, just for the other aspects of having fun with the hobby. I like one of my favorite pastimes is getting countries, and I'm missing about 6 states, finishing up for all 50 states. But I love to chase country contacts. That's my thing. But I'm not going to knock you out for running Ft8. Uh, go for it. Like I said, it's one of the best things this hobby's got going is you can get into it as cheaply or as expensively as your pocketbook allows. And it's steady learning the whole time you're in this hobby. It's just like reloading. Uh, I've been reloading since I was 19 years old. I'm 62 now, working on real close to 63. But I only started reloading rifle rounds a few years ago. I have a little problem. Cody's a bench rest shooter. He's helping me work a problem out. You're never too old to learn in any hobby you're in. And amateur radio is just another learning hobby that you can have fun with. And the thing I really like about ham radio is once you get your antennas up, you can walk in here, turn the radios on. If you got an hour to kill it on the radio. And then go back to doing whatever you need to do. It's not something that's going to tie you down, or not something you have to rig up every time you want to start it. But, do what you want to do in this hobby. Portable ops, I know Vern Six, he's always sets POTA stations up. Cody, Jeff, and I are going to do a practice portable op in November, and I'll plan to make a video on that. But if you ask questions on social media, be ready for your answers. But you pick the part of this hobby that you enjoy and stick with it no matter what anybody says. Whether it's an individual or a ham club or whatever. If you've got a local ham club that's not willing to be nice over your choice in what modes you're in, then I don't know how much more I would mess with that ham club. Because it's your station, you're the licensee, and you run it the way you want to. As long as you run it within the legal parameters of what we all dealt with, have fun with it. I talked to a neighbor lady of mine yesterday about emergency services and Skywarn stuff. And I went through my videos. Evidently, I've never really touched on Skywarn a little bit, and I'm going to go back a little bit of what my knowledge of it is. When I got licensed in 91, I went to several Skywarn classes put on by the National Weather Service. And at that time, with internet not being available and computers and things like that not being what they are now, when we did Skywarn, our volunteer fire department was the main one that did it, and I would always be one of the Skywarn operators. And we would call our sightings in to the sheriff's office, and they would call National Weather Service and pass up the information. It's gotten a lot better. I know several of these ham clubs. I know Shreveport and I think Texarkana both are online with National Weather Service, and when they put Skywarn up, they'll have a net control operator on a repeater that's inputting it directly to the National Weather Service, which gets the updates a lot faster, and that's great. And that's one thing you new techs can be a part of. Look at your local club on or whoever's doing National Weather Service Skywarn in your area. Find out what it takes to be certified and participate in it. Great. I still call stuff into them. I've got to get recertified in it, but I'm kind of at the edge of a county, and there's not many people on there. And with the weather's headed west, I always call the repeaters east of me. If the weather's headed east, I always call the east repeaters and give them a heads up on what I'm seeing down here. Another good thing to remember, because this happened to a friend of mine, not everybody's a ham radio operator. And we've all gotten dependent upon internet to get things from. Okay. And this friend of mine I served with military, there was a tornado coming in her town, and she lost her internet television coverage. It all went down. She didn't have any way to find out what was going on. And it was bearing down on there to the town she lived in. She actually messaged me through Facebook, and I sent her weather reports. And I suggested her to get her a scanner and put in the local NOAA channel for that works is strongest in that area, and the local repeater for ham radio. And that way you can hear the stuff in real time. And I highly recommend, if you've got anybody that's contacted you about emergency communication, especially with the climate this country's in the last year, couple of years, and I've been contacted about that, most people are not going to take the trouble to get a ham ticket and try to get set up for an emergency communication they may never use. It's a different type of operator than we all know to stay in ham radio. However, suggest to your friends to get an inexpensive VHF UHF scanner and help them get it programmed. Program it from National Weather Service channel that's most active in their area. I know they've changed. When I first got my first weather monitor, the National Weather Service out of Paris, Texas, and Shreveport broadcast on the same frequency. I wanted to hear the Paris broadcast because most of our weather come from the west. If I put my receiver in the southeast end of my house, I heard Shreveport. I had to keep it in the northwest end of my house to hear Paris. Now I think they've got that even upgraded from what it used to be. And with apps on people's phones and everything like that, now you get all kinds of updates. But cell service can go down. Your TV and internet go down in a heartbeat. So, another point on speaking of internet, and my son-in-law gave me this idea several years ago, and it works. I bought a 650 watt uninterruptible power supply. And I think I give $49 for it on Amazon. I think they're $65 now. I put it by my internet modem, and I plug my modem into it. And that's the only thing plugged into it. Wife and I had a power outage about a year ago for 5.5 hours, and we never lost internet coverage. And we sat there and played on our phones. You could charge your phone if you had to. Luckily, our phones and tablets were charged up, and we had internet the whole time the power was out. So, something to think about. Give you a little. It ain't permanent. It ain't an end of the world scenario fix, but it is a fix for most power outages. Last 2 to 4 or 5 hours, and that way you keep your internet up and running. Just an easy, really inexpensive thing to do. But help your friends out with Skywarn, because Skywarn, we got more radar than we had years ago, but they still rely heavily on storm spotters. And most of those are ham radio operators. So think about that. Hit 427 on subscribers. I really appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. We're trying to keep this channel going and come up with some good topics. I appreciate all the comments. I try to answer every comment and email I get. If for some reason I don't answer your comment on YouTube, it's because some reason YouTube's got it blocked, and I don't understand that. But I will try to answer it. I'll answer everybody's email. Appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. Remember your club pages, Ft8 Amateur Radio, Shreveport Amateur Radio, Cowtown, Dallas Amateur Radio, good places for information. Ham Radio Flea Market Trading Post, Ham Radio, Amateur Radio Elmer's on Facebook, Texas Amateur Ham Radio, Main Trading Company, Paris, Texas, excellent source of ham gear. Our 10-meter round table Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, Friday nights. Starts at 7:30 Central Standard Time. Usually on 28 450, unless there's somebody already there, that we go to 470. But we will always stay in the novice tech portion of 10 meters in the phone portion. Please check in with us. We all three enjoy having people check in with us. This is KB5 MIQ Big Boy and old ham radio cats laying here on the floor. Appreciate everybody who subscribed to the channel. 73. Adios.